Good morning, or at least it's morning for me. I don't know when you're watching this. I just wanted to go over a couple of things so that you guys are aware of what's upcoming. So you guys know by now about my optional office hours, that you need to finish your Bildungsroman book by April 9th, and you need to have your workbook submitted to this assignment depository by the 13th at 11:59. Or sorry, at 9 a.m., not 11:59, 9 a.m., so I can grade them. Okay, so that is on the calendar, and this is what it looks like for me. I don't know exactly what it looks like for you guys, but I'm sure that there's like a submission button. Looks like Sam Pratt already figured that out, so maybe you could ask him what your screen looks like. This is what the resources look like for me, so you guys pretty much see all of this except for this link right here. And I wanted to remind you that there are a couple of videos going over, there's Finn, lit analysis tips and some writing tips based on some trends that I saw in your Midsummer Night's Dream essay. So don't forget to watch those, please. Those are instructional videos. So that is where, like, this is what I would be doing in class with you on the board or on the projector screen. So you need to make sure that you watch those. The next thing that you need to know is about the choice unit, which is what we're going to talk about. And I apologize if you can hear my son in the background. He's in his little jumper and he's making a lot of noise, but it's the nature of the beast right now. So the choice unit, this is the syllabus. So when you click this here, it'll take you to this syllabus. Any links included in this document are live, so you can just click them. And here's what you need to do. Shh, say it again. You get to pick the next book you're going to read. And for the purposes of remote learning, I'm making it pretty wide open. I'm giving you some suggestions here, but I know that it might be hard to access a copy of some books, so I want you to pick a book that you maybe already have, or a book from this list that you can easily get, and it must have literary merit. It must be age appropriate. So I don't want you reading books that you read in elementary school, okay? So that includes, like, for example, Island of the Blue Dolphins is like a 3rd grade book. Or like Because of Winn-Dixie, that's an elementary school book. You need to be reading a high school and up level that has literary merit. So I suggest you start here and look at the examples I have and then kind of go from there. Your parents can help you. In fact, I encourage them to. It should be on grade level or above reading level. And I want it to be age appropriate in the sense too that you can handle the content. So some of you may want to, well, actually not some of you, all of you should look up the text that you're picking and make sure that there's not anything in it that's going to trigger you or upset you. But if you don't really have any qualms, so you're kind of like me, you'll read whatever, then go ahead and pick anything at all that you think would be engaging, that has literary merit. And it must be a full-length book. You can't just read a single short story. And you can't just read like a single poem, but you can do a collection of those if you'd like. So for example, if you really love Edgar Allan Poe, you could read an anthology of his. Or if you really like Walt Whitman poetry, I'm fine if you even pick Walt Whitman and an anthology of his stuff. I'm going to pause it and grab Finn since he's making a lot of noise. All right, so hopefully this will be a little bit better now that I'm holding him. Maybe he'll stop swearing. So parents, this is where I'm going to be sending an email out to parents through IC as well. I would really encourage your parents to be involved in the selection of the novel that you pick because I want you to be aware of what they're reading. And then feel free to select books from the collection you already have at home if you have some. And then students, create a reading schedule. Say like you and your buddies pick the same novel, for example. You could even work with them a little bit in order to have a plan of action. Okay. There are resources available for you to access a copy of your book digitally. So for example, Audible, for as long as schools are closed, they're open. This is straight from their website. So you can instantly stream incredible collections of stories, including titles across 6 different languages, etc., etc. If you click these links, It'll take you to where you can start listening. Same thing with Scribd. Read for free for 30 days, no credit card required. And it's only $10 a month if you decide to sign up. I've never used it, but I have Audible and it's excellent. Your local library has apps where you can check out ebooks. So there's Overdrive, and then there's Libby, and you just kind of connect it to whatever library you normally access, and you can kind of look through any Douglas County libraries, actually, if you set up an account through that and you have a library card. And then obviously Amazon is still sending orders, but they're prioritizing emergency and essential items. So you can still order a book. It just might take, longer than it usually does. And then there's a Kindle app that you can download to any device. So if you don't have a Kindle, but you're able to find an ebook, for example, use your phone or tablet, and that should work. Okay. Here are the suggestions that I have for some books, and the ones that are starred are some of my personal favorites. So, The Great Gatsby, that is a junior pre-AP English text, so if you are taking junior pre-AP, don't read that one, but it is really good if you're not taking that course next year. All the Light We Cannot See is one of my all-time favorite books. It's an award-winning novel, and it's beautiful. It's about World War II era, so it's sort of historical fiction. The Book Thief is the same thing, World War II era. It's about this girl who steals books during Nazi occupation because they're all burning the books, and it's got an interesting feel for like narration, and I don't know. That one's a really interesting read. It's really good. Perks of Being a Wallflower is another coming-of-age novel. It deals a lot with like mental illness, sexual identity, things like that. Really good. It's also a movie, but you need to read the book because the movie is different. All of these, the movie is always different, especially Great Gatsby, and The Book Thief. Gilead is what we call an epistolary novel about a father writing letters to his son. Not very action-packed, but the language is beautiful. So if you like sort of character novels where you're really focused on the people themselves rather than the action, that one's good. Life of Pi, a boy and a tiger survive this cataclysmic event and are on a boat together. I don't have time to talk about all of these, so I'm going to rush through. But these are all really good literary fiction. If you like memoir and autobiography, memoir is similar to autobiography, except for it's about a particular aspect of someone's life rather than their whole life. Night by Elie Wiesel is about his surviving concentration camps in World War II era during the Holocaust. And then I Am Malala is by Malala Yousafzai. Do not get the Young Readers edition. It's about her fight against the Taliban for women's education and girls' education. The Hate You Give is also a movie, but again, read the book. Don't watch just the movie. And the same thing with Still Alice. It's about someone who survives a traumatic brain injury. Nonfiction. So In Cold Blood is like a true crime text by Truman Capote, and I think Borges Miller teaches that often in his sophomore classes. Born a Crime is by Trevor Noah, and it is actually autobiographical, so really it probably should be under here, but I messed up, so it's okay. And he's the host of The Daily Show, so he's a comedian, a political satirist. Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. That one's really interesting. I've read it. I am introverted, and so it's really cool to kind of see the science behind all of that. And then Into the Wild is about a boy named Christopher McCandless who goes off into the wild and kind of imitates Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. And that is one that we sometimes read in AP Lang. And then dystopian and sci-fi fantasy. There are so many. These are just some that I know are very popular or that I've read that I really like. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is very Brit humor, so it's really funny. There's a movie, and it's good, but again, the book is different. Neil Gaiman, I really enjoy his works, kind of more British humor, dark humor, dry humor. if you're going to take sci-fi fantasy, Ender's Game is in that curriculum, so make sure that you don't read this one if you are taking sci-fi fantasy. Divergent by Veronica Roth is good if you haven't read that one. Hunger Games is also good, but I feel like most of us have probably read that one. Okay. And then here are what the tasks are throughout the unit. So, your final project is going to be that literary theme park that we were going to do the last unit that we had to scrap. And here's the schedule. Okay, so Monday the 13th is when your Bildungsroman unit workbook is due. Okay, we'll deal with turning in those books later. And then ideally by next week, the 14th or the 15th, which is the Tuesday, Wednesday, you're able to get a copy of the book, which is why we're talking about it now. And then you'll fill out this Google form with your book choice that week, by the end of the week, so by Friday, you'll fill this out. And then you'll start reading based on a reading schedule. Okay. And then the next week, you'll be working on your theme park map project. You'll start plotting your story on the plot diagram that I gave you and start the project outline. And the same throughout here, okay? There will be check-in forms every week, basically for you to tell me, hey, like, this is where I am in the book, this is what's happening, this is where I am on my project, this is what I need help with, okay? And then everything will be due this week here. So you'll work on your final product, which is your theme park map, the 18th through the 22nd, and everything will be due the 22nd. Okay. Here is the theme park guide. Everything that you need is going to be on this document. It's on Schoology. Page 1 is the task sheet with the project details, everything that you need to do for your theme park map project. Page 2 is that plot diagram I mentioned here. And then page 3 is the project outline that you're going to fill out before you start making your actual map. So